and welcome to We Got a Podcast about Dragon Ball from A to Z, from Earth to Namek to Sadala. We cover it all. I'm Randy.
And I'm a descendant of Doug, probably.
And I'm Kenmo, the god of Mount Paus.
Ooh. We're the world's strongest under the heavens trio to dangers here every other week to talk your ear off about fights, goofs, and everything else in the Dragon Ball cosmos. Doug, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm recovering from a 5-day trip to Colombia. I went down to South America, which makes it less likely that I'm a descendant of someone named Doug being from South America, but who knows? I've got a severe sunburn I'm healing from, which is why I'm wearing these kind of clothes. I don't usually wear like a white beater or whatever. Is that what they call it? A white beater? Even though it's not white and I don't beat my wives?
Well, just call it an undershirt. It's kind of
it has like like
sleeveless tank top.
Yeah, sleeveless,
tank
sure.
tops,
Yeah. Because it hurts down there. I'm not going to show you to discuss you, but it's like it's peeling and everything, and it hurts. But I'm here.
That's good. I'm glad that you made it alive for
Thanks.
our thing. Ken, how about you?
Dude, it is the season of video games right now. I am deep into Yakuza Like a Dragon Gaiden, and man, it's Kiryu-tastic. I don't know what to tell you.
Love it.
I'm really shocked by how much of a pretty full-fledged Yakuza game it feels like in terms of like sub-stories and upgrading
Because it's not a
your
full-fledged game. It's like a little kind of side game.
I would say it's a full-fledged game. From what I understand, the only caveats are that it's shorter in terms of like the story being shorter, and there is no like career, it's like side career that you can have. But even then, I think Yakuza 3 didn't have that, and then Yakuza 4, they weren't very good, so you never really played with them. But yeah, it's great. I was playing it right before we started recording too. I just got to the big Coliseum area where you can start fighting guys, and
in like a Tenkaichi Budokai type battle.
Or just like the Coliseum modes in all the past Yakuza games. Yeah.
The real question.
Deep segue that was not going to happen for a while.
The real question is, what kind of old school Sega arcade games do they have for you to play in there?
I don't know if there's anything new in here, but one thing they do have, which they added in Lost Judgment and continued into this game in case you miss Lost Judgment, which that game was kind of mid, I thought. But in this one, Sonic the Fighters, which is just cool to be able to play as all that group of characters. But there's a lot of stuff in there. But I usually, honestly, I don't mess too much with those.
Okay, that's fair. Sometimes I just, want to get in there and play some Outrun and immediately lose pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's a good distraction.
Yeah, and then I'm just, I beat Mario Wonder, rolled credits on that.
Ooh.
Man,
nice.
Great game. I don't know if it's a Game of the Year contender, like if I would ever consider it to be one like that.
A lot of people are.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I have nothing bad to say about it. I just think that, like, if I'm, I went back and got all 152 shrines in Tears of the Kingdom, so I think right now that's still my Game of the Year. But of course, Super Mario RPG is not out yet. By the time, by the time you guys are watching or listening to this, it still won't be out. I forgot. We're recording differently here than usual. Randy, what have you been up to? Oh.
I just picked it up and I haven't played it yet, but I'm waiting to play with my roommates. It's fun to play. This is multiplayer, right? I don't see anyone online playing with friends. I'm like, that's really weird. But
that's fair. Yeah.
Randy, what are you playing or doing?
What am I up to? Well, I don't know. I've been playing Tales of Arise, which is good times. If you like those Tales of games, it's a good time. They announced the Steam Deck OLED, so I'm gonna get
a new
one.
version of Steam, the Steam Deck.
Yeah, exactly. So upgraded screen. It's going to be OLED.
Yeah, Randy, you were saying you weren't sure if you were going to get one or you didn't think you would. And then I was watching the Digital Foundry video on it, and as they were going through, I'm like, oh, Randy's absolutely going to get this.
Well, here's the thing. So I was like, okay, I'm probably going to get one now after watching something like that. And I was like, well, I mean, the holidays are coming up. I got, I want to spend my money elsewhere. But then they're like, oh, by the way, limited edition, we're going to sell a translucent one. And so I was like, so of course I had to
Game Boy days.
Yeah, so I had to talk with the husband. I'm like, look, it's going to be limited edition. I can't hold off on it. And he's like, well, do I get your old one? I'm like, yeah, man, I'll set you all up. Like, you can just have it. I've already done upgrades on it. So he said yes. So
Of course,
now,
the easiest yes.
Yeah. So hopefully now I just have to actually buy it. So this Thursday they go on sale. I just gotta get in there before the servers crash. But if I don't get the see-through one, I'm still gonna get an OLED one because it's just gonna be so nice. And then he can have one, and we can play different games on the couch together. I don't know. It's weird. Other than that, what else?
Randy, you and I did record another podcast.
Did I?
We did.
That wasn't. Wait, that might have been. I died, and then
you were
they might have
reborn.
used my.
We use your soul.
I was reborn.
Yeah,
right. We transfer it to a new body.
We recorded a podcast on Evangelion, Death True 2, and the end of Eva. And Doug was not a part of that one. He will be a part of the future ones going forward. And Doug, word to God, said that he finally understands Evangelion.
I have watched so many YouTube videos of people trying to explain it in like 30 minutes or whatever, even like an hour. Never made sense, even of them explaining it. But finally watching you guys, I'm like, oh, because I loved how you did a long explanation in the beginning, and then Ken was like, for those Dougs out there, here's the condensed version again. 2 aliens, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, yeah, I needed that. I needed the long one and the short one combined. Like, it really made everything make sense for just the base of it.
Yeah, so I know you may have seen that pop up in your feed, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to watch this. Just, hey, if you want something... Doug is not the only person who's told me this now, that this video helped him understand Eva, so just check it out.
I'm totally not biased. I'm not biased either. It was a good listen.
And I just gotta give a shout out to Kenneth here, who ran the show for that episode. Fantastic job, very knowledgeable. He came ready and did a great job.
Crushed
it, and we're here to crush it again. I don't know.
Yes, we are. Let's go. Keep going.
So, I always second guess myself. I'm sorry. I'm going to apologize. So we're back to our bullshit of Dragon Ball GT retrospective of Auspiciosity. And first of all, I just have to say thank you to a certain group of other 3 podcasters out there who covered the same stuff we did on the exact same day and didn't steal our thunder at all, which was great. I liked that. That was good.
Who are you talking about? They're small up-and-comers?
Some jokers out on the internet who are just, small up-and-comers. Nobody's ever heard of them.
I don't remember if we said it publicly or not. We may have early on. But this was always part of the plan of watching GT.
It
was to force Mike's hand into continuing the GT review of awesomeness, and we're glad that all worked out.
Yeah, absolutely. It felt so great looking at the YouTube comments for that was like, thanks to Randy and crew for fighting the good fight to make this happen.
So
I was like,
great.
yes. This is why I started the podcast in general, because I needed more Dragon Ball content, and Mike wasn't giving it to me. So... had to do it myself.
We can wrap it up now. We can officially say that this podcast is ending.
Yeah, GT's why are we on its way out. We're over halfway through.
Just call it now, and we'll count on Mike, Mary, and Jeff to finish it out. So thanks, guys.
For the end of
Just
time.
kidding. Yeah, we're going to keep going. So we're doing the next bit. And if you don't know what happened in GT for these episodes, let's go over a quick little recap. And I just wrote this, so it might be rough. I apologize, but I'm going to read it. Here we go. Goku, Pan, Trunks, and the rest of the Dragon Ball crew managed to save the world from the evil Neo Machine Mutant baby, and peace has returned to the Earth. Now, mere months after this marvelous victory, the time for the Tenkaichi Budokai is at hand. What surprises are in store now? And we're going to be covering episodes 41 of Dragon Ball GT and the TV special, which aired March 12th, 1997 and March 26th, 1997. Guys, how did we feel about these episode and the special? How did we feel? Ken, what are you feeling? You're smiling. I got to know. What are you thinking?
Whatever.
In general about these episodes, whatever.
I mean, the GT or the episode 41 was nice to get to see the tournament again, but it didn't go as far in any of the characters. Like, you have the tournament announcer there, and you don't really do anything with him being there, or like he's not like, oh, Goku, you're a kid again. It was like a serviceable way to have a tournament go, and obviously the focus of the story is around Mr. Satan, which is great. I'm not knocking that, but
right, we love that.
Everything else they could have done with it, like make little moments along the way, it seems like that was just skipped over.
Those are my thoughts exactly for that. Yeah.
And then as far as the TV special goes, like, it's a big ask to say the only character left is Pan and expect me to really identify or even see through the same eyes as this Goku that we're now with, who has different eyes. I don't know if you guys picked up on that, but
Oh yeah.
it's just like whatever. I don't think I'll ever watch that GT special again. I didn't hate it,
Yeah.
and I kind of would prefer to have hated it and felt something about it. Yeah, felt strongly about it in one way or the other, but I just like whatever. It felt like all the magic is gone from the world, which I think might have been intentional, but
Oh yeah,
just
maybe. Because I was thinking the same about the special. Like it's very like even the new enemies. It's like, what world are we in? Like, was this our same dragon world? Like now there's
Yeah, all the architecture is different. The houses are all different. All the like
Mount Powers is abandoned and everything, and just gangs of whatever these creatures are running amok. A bear, the bear was the coolest thing of that whole special, like big mama bear, like looking all badass and mean and shit. But no, I feel the same way about that. I feel the same way about the episode 41, the tournament. Like it was such an opportunity to make such cool moments, and it didn't. It just was there.
I think
even the first few seconds was like so wasted to see a young Goku reappearing in this tournament, and kind of nothing.
I think wasted is the right word, and not in like whoa, bro, but like wasted opportunity for sure with that whole episode. That's like another thing where I would have loved 2 episodes.
Yeah. Someone had the
breathe.
genius idea. Let's revisit the tournament, even for a small moment, but then didn't think much past that.
Nix the TV special. Make the tournament 3 episodes.
Yes.
That would have been cool. Yeah.
I would have preferred that too. You guys basically said everything. I don't have anything to add to that conversation. So let's jump in and do episode 41, the Tenkaichi Budokai. Who will be Satan's successor? Ken, do you want to read this one?
Sure. Welcome to the Tenkaichi Budokai. Mr. Satan decided that he's retiring as the world champ and looks to find a successor in whomever wins the biggest tournament on the planet. Goku joins, but due to his size, he's relegated to the junior division. So it's on Pan to win the tournament all on her own. But the mysterious Papaya Man is on the scene. Who will take home the belt and be the new world champion? I wonder who Papaya Man is.
I'm just
Elder Kaioshin.
Ooh, could be. I'm just happy to see that they remembered that there's a junior division now. Because, I mean, like, I don't know. I just don't ever put it past Toei or GT to forget small details like that. Because the junior division was just introduced in, the 25th?
The last one we see, yeah. Or, I mean, the 2 last ones we see.
There was no junior division in the 28th.
There wasn't?
Pan was just in the regular? Oh.
Well,
So
that,
back.
or she was allowed to be in the main one, but unless we're told otherwise, we have to assume that there was just no junior.
I like to think that they got rid of it just because like it wasn't a great success. Or no, it was a success, wasn't it? Because Trunks won and got to like punch Mr. Satan in the face.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess that's my bad for forgetting that they didn't have it anymore.
Well, it's safe to say that Mr. Satan kind of orchestrates the tournament now, so like whatever he wants goes. So I'm sure. I mean, the whole thing was that he definitely made it so that Pan would win this tournament to be the successor, which makes it even easier. Oh no, then why wouldn't she be part of the junior division? I don't know.
Because she's taller.
Right. But just to separate Goku from her was the main like probably goal that he had.
Yeah, Mr. Satan wanted Pan to be the new Mr. Satan. And that's why he needed Goku to be in a different thing. So he rigged it.
Her thought of like being a new tiny Mr. Satan was freaking cool. Like you had your little Satan Goku figure fusion. I was like, oh, now I want the Pan Satan version of that she has a imagination of.
Yeah, that's got to be coming at some point. I feel like that
won't.
That image is so old. As far as like, yeah, obviously it's from 1997 as we're going through here, but I feel like as long as I've been a part of Dragon Ball fandom, I've seen that picture, right? Like it's been posted everywhere.
Really? I feel like it's much more forgettable than the Hercule or the Satan Goku fusion.
I liked finally getting context for what's going on in that picture because I've never seen this episode before.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So let's start picking away at some stuff here. Everyone is calling Goku by name and cheering. Are they aware that that is the same guy who helped teleport the Earth away before it exploded? Do they?
Yeah.
Do they know? See, this is the stuff I'm talking about. And then like the tournament announcer comes out and is like, "Oh, Son Goku." It's like, dude, we know you're like one of the only normal people who gets what's going on, right?
Yeah.
Because there's that moment in the 25th Tenkaichi Budokai where he pulls everyone aside and he's like, "Hey, that was really you guys who beat Cell, right?" And it's like he gets it. He knows.
The coolest guy on the planet.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm just gonna go along with this Satan thing because this is what the crowd needs. But I'm with you guys. Like,
and we get none of that. None of that with that guy. And it's like that's like the coolest thing about his character.
Yeah. Goku showing up to the tournament and just like I think they try to give him like a speech that makes it like memorable, like, "Oh, I haven't been here forever," but it just doesn't hit. You know what I mean? It doesn't hit at all.
Yeah.
It's a bummer. You know what did hit kind of for me is that one moment where Mr. Satan is kind of like, was he looking out a window and just kind of having that moment to be sad about Boo being gone?
He draws a boo on the window.
He just draws a little Boo. I'm like, oh, okay.
And then scratches it out as Goku comes in to like for him not to see it.
I mean, as usual, Mr. Satan is the best part of some of these episodes. Like I have no issue with anything involving Mr. Satan here, except for it's like really unclear. When he and Oob face off against each other, I'm like, have they met? And I'm like, no, yeah, they have been together in the same scene.
Yeah.
But are they really aware of who each other is?
And like I think even Boo was like, as Boo's last moments was like, I gotta go be with Oob or something like that. And I mean, I'm sure Mr. Satan was confused at the time, but then kind of pieced it together that he's now part of this guy.
Yeah, he's not
just
like,
missed opportunities to really kind of have these characters connect, have an interaction where it's like, oh, okay, well, they know what's going on or anything like that.
Yeah, it felt. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
It felt like stuff happening, but we're not getting to feel any of it. There's no emotion or feeling behind anything. Like even Vegeta, watching this, it felt like a total Dragon Ball Super Vegeta.
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden he's like, I must fight Kakarot. And it's like, okay, dude, but like you just called him like a glorious bastard or whatever it was in the last episode. Because he could go Super Saiyan 4. Yeah, and so it felt like that came out of nowhere.
This checklist that Toei had that's like, okay, what do we need to put in this episode? And then they did it, but didn't include any of the feeling or thought into it or anything.
Yeah. When they show West City, when Vegeta's walking outside of Capsule Corp, like there are car accidents everywhere. And
what
I'm
was
like,
with that?
So
Did I miss something?
I thought like, well, I guess this is everyone reacting to Mr. Satan retiring. Like they're all hearing it on their car radios. But they just don't explain that. They don't. So like, why is it? What the hell's breaking loose in West City?
It just looks like West City has become like a rundown, like ghetto at this point. Like time has just passed, and now this is what this is now. Because you just hear honking and like crashes, and the crash blows up. Is that Vegeta blowing up the cars in front of him? That
that were crashing in front of him.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
But I feel like I saw cars crashing in the very beginning of the episode, or maybe that was the retirement announcement. Because Mr. Satan, I don't know if you guys we said it, but yeah, he's announced his retirement, which Trunks was listening in on, and he cares, which was a little.
That was a great bit though. I liked that one with the salarymen, and they're like, huh? And then they find out he's listening, and then they hear that Mr. Satan's retiring, and then they have the same reaction. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
They should have all gotten in their cars and crashed right there in the border.
So there are like glimpses of brilliance in this episode and little funny comedic beats, but there's just so much that's just washed over to be like, oh, here's Goku and Vegeta wants to fight him, and then Oob is here, but we're not going to address anything that really should be addressed. And so, total waste of an episode.
I remember there's one, like, I forget, I even hate saying it because now I forgot what it was, but there was one moment that really made me laugh. But if I think about it, I'll say it. But
so, is that Pizza who's giving the massage to Mr. Satan?
No, this is a new, younger woman. I mean, she might be in her, I was thinking the same thing. She looks like she's in her 30s. Massaging this 60 or 75-year-old man.
You think she's not on like that Capsule Corp like makeup routine to stay looking young?
The Shenron routine where you age yourself 5 years?
Right.
I don't know, man.
No, yeah.
I mean,
it was.
Goten's still with Palace. So
yeah, that's nice.
After all that happened, they're
wearing the
still
same
together.
outfit.
Eating hamburgers.
Still so
I was-
cringy having to sit through her.
I was writing down what was on the menu at that restaurant that they were in. They have hamburger, sandwich, hot dog, hot C because it's cut off, so I assume that's hot cocoa, coffee, tea, and I couldn't make out the last one. It's either pote something or pore something.
Oh, maybe like potato something. Potato salad.
Pote, like Pote. I could have misspelled potato.
Yeah, they
who
misspelled
knows?
baseball, so who knows?
One thing Mr. Satan says about Boo in the beginning that was just so sweet. I think he was like, life is not fun without him anymore. Like, it's like, what is life if not fun without him? And it was like so sweet of him to say. Really does love that guy.
Yeah, they left all the good emotional stuff for Mr. Satan. I really, when we watch Sheetsy, I go in with the biggest open heart possible. And I think
Likewise.
before we got to this episode and these 2 episodes, the only time we started one of these and I felt about the entire thing was that stupid robot Sigma guy or whatever, that group. Super Canon Sigma or whatever I don't even remember. Whatever they were called. That was the only time we've watched one of these and I've been like, felt whatever about the episodes. But this was just like, almost drained my soul watching these. And I hate coming into this podcast being so negative.
That energy, yeah.
That's
Doug
Doug's
energy.
role. I'm here to be positive, but I can't be about these.
It felt like a Sailor Moon villain of the week episode. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think especially the ending, maybe it's just the colors of Vegeta and Goku standing off on a bridge together, but it was like, this is a nothing episode that doesn't mean anything. It's just if it's filler that could have been not filler. It could have been such great material. But
And even as I'm watching it, the only stuff that stood out to me was like the stuff that's happening. Like there's a giant fighting Pawn. Is that the guy who, or is that guy? Like, when have we established giants in Dragon World?
Right. Nobody that big.
Yeah.
It's like Gyumao is like the only one that's like huge.
right, and he's still realistically huge.
We see what looks like one of Baba's ghosts, or that ghost that's at Baba's palace in the audience. But he's like painted red or orange. Looks kind of like that. I'm just saying that kind of stuff in case this is a Senpai trivia question.
I mean, why do you think I started talking about hamburgers and hot cocoa?
Is this the first time that Pan says "us"? Like, introduce yourself, "Us, I'm Pan."
Oh, I
or
didn't
whatever,
catch that.
I caught that. Yeah, in case Senpai uses that as trivia too. That's
Which should be fun, her using that after spending so much time with Goku and kind of getting her resentment aside for him.
them licking the lollipops was kind of funny, like together, and then like Trunks joining in. It was a little funny moment.
And we get a lot of Kuririn in this episode, and man, Mayumi Tanaka is graveling it up as an older Kuririn.
Gotta sound old.
Like an old Krillin here, yeah. Smacks Goku on the butt. That's the first thing we see is Krillin smacking Goku on the little kid butt.
I know it's low hanging fruit, but I like that Pawn withdraws from the tournament because she has a tummy ache.
I think that was the funny moment. That's what I laughed a lot. Like, that's hilarious. That's such a good callbath, and
Well, she doesn't withdraw because of that. Yeah, but she does have a tummy ache, so she needs to excuse herself, and
And
does it because she doesn't want anyone to succeed Mr. Satan, but it's still good.
What does being a successor of Mr. Satan mean in this context of the world?
You become the new world champ. We've talked about this before. We don't have an equivalent like that in real life.
Guess not.
But this would be that person for
We
them.
don't have someone saving us from the world of Cell.
It's true.
I mean, and
What does it mean?
It was just going to be anyone who won the tournament too. Like, it's like, I know he wanted to be Pan, but he was just giving this power to anyone that won this tournament.
Well, the thing is, like, he's just, before the whole Cell thing, he was still very famous because he won the tournament before, but everyone was still like, I don't know. He's just kind of like, is the guy that won. And it's
He's the
anybody.
Rock. He's the Rock.
Yeah. Yeah. And like the tournament changed after he won because like now he fights the winner just because he's the strongest and it'd be entertaining, and he always still wins, but it doesn't, like, I don't know, count as the winner. It's weird.
It's just be a marketing thing,
Yeah. Who knows? They get to sign a deal. They get, marketing deal. They get to be in a bunch of commercials. Yeah, take my house. You get to do commercials for this auto dealer now and say that you're the world champ. I don't know. Maybe he's got a, copyright whatever on just being called world champ. So He gets to abdicate that role.
It's a very confusing, like, what does this entail? You get what they're going for, just like, I want Pan to be the new me, and have a great life.
Right.
And then Pan's like, I don't want that.
I want, it's you. You're the world champ.
She does an Arya Stark. It's like, that's not me.
I like the Oob and Mr. Satan fight where kind of Boo speaks up inside of him.
Yeah, and yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Takes him a minute, though. He does really get a good wallop into Mr. Satan, but Boo was like, no, you can't beat him.
Because he's the world's hero and everyone will be sad. Don't win. Like, aw.
But then you had to let him win in a very, like, obvious... if I was in the audience and I saw how that fight ended with just Mr. Satan giving him one punch while Ubi just stood there, like, shocked. Like, that was it? That was the build-up for that fight? Like,
right.
That's our champion?
But Mr.
You
Satan,
like...
a little show.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Randy.
Well, no, I was probably about to take exactly what you were about to say, which was, I kind of don't like that Mr. Satan believes he beat Oob. And he's like, no, I'm going to still be the champ. I'm not retiring. It's like, he's smarter now. He should know.
But it means so much to him, though, that he's blind to that. He says such like, I'm ready to give up. I'm sorry, Ken, go ahead.
He's still strong enough that he threw him out of the ring with one punch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like anyone you're fighting, it still takes a lot to do that. And I think he's so happy he did that with his own strength. And then he's like, maybe I still have something to offer here.
After a long time of him just faking everything, and he actually believes that he has something in him still. Like, okay, I'm not worthless or whatever. It's nice.
Yeah,
but then it's all kind of like thrown away by this stupid Vegeta stuff of like, Kakarot, fight me.
It's funny. Like, if we don't take this seriously and it's just a goof of an episode.
It is kind of like better when Goku starts to get hungry and then Vegeta starts laughing and you're like, oh, thank God. they didn't like throw Vegeta's character away, and so...
But still, another checklist thing, like, oh, Goku gets hungry during a convenient time for comedy purposes. Like, okay, it's
and
nothing,
then,
but I wish Vegeta's stomach would rumble too, and then they would go eat together, but...
They do the thing that I hated so much in the last episode, where it's like, oh man, Goku is Goku. Everything's great, but peace is not going to last forever. Just stop it with this. Like, let us enjoy the moment. Not that there was much moments to enjoy in this episode, but
as if we wouldn't tune in again if they didn't tease us with more.
It's like, Joji Yanami, back off.
Yeah.
Ken's coming for you, Joji. When I finished this episode, I wrote down my overall thoughts that I thought it was a fun romp after the dire stuff of Baby, and that I just kind of wish we could have gotten more of Oob and Satan maybe bonding, becoming friends or something, because like Boo is still in him, and like maybe they could find some common ground, like they both, I don't know, like the same pizza or something, like, oh, let's go hang out and get pizza.
That would have been nice, yeah. That would have been nice.
These GT writers have done such a good job at showing us how they understand how to write these characters hanging out casually in fun ways. And it felt like none of that was present in this episode.
This was the perfect vehicle to do that.
Right.
And it doesn't feel
good just at all. Feels like a major disappointment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of disappointments...
Wait, is it a disappointment? Because like, where were you leveled at going into this? I didn't go in expecting to like this TV special.
I remember seeing it a few times in the past, and I didn't remember a lot of the contents of it, but I was like, it's a TV special. The last two TV specials were fantastic. I loved those. Maybe this will be fun and exciting, and they'll do some neat things to get me hooked, and I don't know. I kind of went in expecting something good.
I remember it being whatever, and then when I saw it was whatever, I'm like, okay, this is whatever.
Yeah, I wouldn't say this is a disappointment. It's about what I was expecting.
Okay.
I might have expected even a little more, actually, but there was not... I guess we'll get into it, but yeah.
Sure. So we are talking, of course, about the TV special Goku's Side Story. The proof of his courage is the 4-star ball. 100 years in the future. I don't remember if that's exactly correct. I just wrote it down. My apologies if that's incorrect, and somebody out there knows that it's like 80 something.
I mean, I'll tell you in the timeline, before we went live with this, I was asking if they ever actually state this in the TV special, whether it's 100 years. That might even be what they tackle in episode 64. I don't know. But in the guidebooks, this is year 889. So it is 100 years after GT starts.
Okay. So it would be 99 years because we've already had 1 year.
Just enough time for everyone to be dead.
And just enough for a tournament every 3 years, which we'll get to later.
So, 100 years in the future, Pan is taking care of her grandson, Son Goku. Unlike his namesake, Goku gets beaten up by bullies and refuses to fight back. When Pan chastises him, she has a cardiac episode as her health diminishes. Goku remembers a story Pan told her about the Dragon Ball, which can grant you a wish. With renewed resolve, Goku sets off to Mount Paozu to find the Dragon Ball and save Pan.
We got to talk for a second. So at the beginning of this, they tell us that everyone is gone. Okay? So that means Roshi's gone. We have to assume that's what they're saying.
Oh,
Pan's the only one left.
Unless he doesn't matter.
But if we want to look at high canon of Dragon Ball AF, we clearly have in the alternate ending, you can't see this, in the alternate ending, that is Goku and Vegeta, the descendants who fight later on. So do they meet before that tournament? Or, I mean, at some point, this has to happen, this conversation with Roshi.
I think in the dub, don't they, when they meet in the final episode of GT, they like address each other as if they've met before.
Okay, all right. So as long as
in the Japanese version, but yeah,
as long as AF can still work, that's really all that matters.
As long as they,
with this special, that is all I care about. Yeah.
If the Dragon Realm isn't real, what am I even doing here?
Yeah. Thank you.
The weird thing about this TV special is that I didn't know that it aired after episode 41. I thought this thing came out after the show was over. So
same, which was really weird watching it back then, and like, oh, why did they only include baby stuff up to the baby stuff? But makes sense now.
I think it's kind of clever doing it this way, showing that the Dragon Balls are there because they're about to make a big deal about the Dragon Balls dying or whatever, and that Goku has become this kind of like weird specter that can just show up and is kind of seemingly tied to that Dragon Ball. So I think
Force Ghost.
It kind of creates an interesting set of maybe they were already planning of how they were, what the end goal of this series was going to be, how they were going to end it. And so just, I think it's clever.
I was thinking it was going to be even more clever with how GT ends with the balls fusing onto Goku and then him flying off, and Goku, this Goku descendant showing up to the house looking for the Dragon Ball, not finding it, and then the Force Ghost Goku comes out and not like, takes it out of his body and gives it to him, but like only way to get it is because Goku always had it with him, but then he gives it to him in physical form or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that would have been great.
It's now, yeah.
I mean, now we have to
with that.
We have to wait for Toyotaro to explain it. How did the Dragon Ball end up back there?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
because who knows? I don't know.
I want to get off I want to get it out just in the media. What a wasted like potential of this special to like, hey, now there's this kid that looks like Goku. I'm like, okay, we've done this with Goten, and we're currently watching GT right now. The magic of seeing a young Goku is gone. Yeah. This could have been so cool if those two, Goten one is fine, but just imagine if like this special came down the line after like Super or whatever to see a young Goku again. How that would have been charming.
Well, Doug, we're about to see a young Goku again.
Don't you dime on me. Don't you dime.
So let's just talk about it. There's apparently this really big grave for Goku at Mount Paozu, like next to the beach. Because like the
was
thing
it next to Mount Paozu? I didn't. Yeah, I remember the grave, but I don't know. What, it looked like just in a big field of flowers. I'm like, where is this?
Yeah,
I thought I saw the mountains in the background, so I was like, oh, that's it. It's
that makes
here.
Sense.
It's an indistinguishable place, I suppose.
Who else is
Ken's
buried there?
I don't even remember.
There were other graves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw the one and just had the kanji for Son Goku.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, this is for him.
Where they're praying, yeah.
Yeah.
I like Pan in this, honestly.
Yeah.
I like the idea of making her a very Roshi-esque wise old master, but to a bunch of like modern kids. And
yeah.
She was great.
She's like the neighborhood grandma, and I like that.
Agreed. But what is this neighborhood now? It's all like a normal neighborhood.
It's very too modern.
It doesn't look, it doesn't look like it's set in the world of Dragon Ball at all. Even everything, Goku's got like a bag and he's got Pringles in his bag and all this stuff that like looks just normal. Whatever the truck that's driving is obviously supposed to be some sort of like McDonald's-esque type thing.
Listen, Ken, 100 years ago in our world, we had, dinosaurs roaming around and dog people. So a lot can happen in those 100 years.
Yeah, I mean, Toyotaro, save us, please. But we're entering like a world in which Dragon Ball is gone,
Lost its magic.
All
There's
just
nobody that we know and love.
We
other
need a
than
new
Pon.
series to make the magic begin again.
Oh no. I don't know. It's really hard. I mean, I could just talk about it's interesting stuff I thought that was in this. I can't. There's not a lot of glowing praise I have for this episode, this special.
Yeah,
I'm fine with the modernization actually, because it like I said, it does make it seem like a lot of time has passed. Like this isn't our world anymore,
true.
but that's just a lot of time has passed.
I really thought it was interesting how on Pon's house they have Son, and on the mailbox it says Son, because as far as we know, in both the series proper and in literally anything ever put out in relation to the series, she does not have that surname.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, it's safe to
Just
assume that it's very, like they say in the series, it's very rare to have a last name. So everyone they marry, they just take the son and add it to theirs. So it just carries down like that.
Yeah. Son Pan,
So bad.
I guess.
or she's just reclaiming it. It's like, well, my parents didn't actually name me with that, but you know what? I'm taking pride in my family, and that's what I'm going to do. I don't know. We don't get enough of her because she's kind of quickly sidelined after, clearly having to put up with training this child who is, not excited to train or get stronger or anything.
What pressure she puts on this innocent child to be the next Goku just feels so odd. Like,
Well, that's because she knew peace was about to end in the world, and they needed to train for the new.
and
The
the
Dragon
narrator
Realm's about to open up,
are
Doug.
talking. Back, Toyotaro, back.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. A lot of my notes are just kind of like, here's the things that happened, purely to help remind me what happened, because I was so just like, okay, sure.
So
right.
I will say, Doug, I know you didn't like that we just go from Kid Goku again to Kid Goku, but I will say that I do like that this version of Goku is distinctly different from Goku, Gohan, or Goten. I mean, this Goku is using like antibacterial spray on a scrape he gets, which is something none of those three
not even
characters would
Goten
do.
would do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gohan would not do, no one. Yeah, so he's like really scared and worried about stuff. I like that. I mean, not even Gohan was like that, really.
Well, it is
Past,
even
like,
cool.
early.
Like they do in the special where they do like they show the descendant of Goku, and then cut to the Goku we know from GT, and just the shift in like how our Goku has confidence, how much it changes. Like, one character to the other. Like, oh, that's our Goku because he has that confidence compared to this whiny kid. Who was like, what is he like supposed to be 11 or 8? I like that they kept consistent with how Goku, he's a late bloomer. He stays short for a long time and then goes up. But yeah,
he's in primary school, which I'm assuming is like elementary, so 10 or younger.
because I would assume he's like the same age as the bullies or whatever.
Yeah, Puck.
And they're taller. Puck and them are like taller. They look like actual young preteens. Goku looks 4, so like when Pan's berating him, he's just like, I'm 4. Can you back off a little bit?
And then he wets himself, and it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I get that it's supposed to be funny in that moment, but I'm just like,
It's like nailing the like too much. Like, we get it. He's not Goku. He's-
it was funny when Bulma peed herself in chapter 1 of Dragon Ball, but you're not playing it.
That's a relatable, like, oh, I would pee myself in that situation too. But in this, it's just like, oh,
Well, he's
What a
just
baby.
the gag's not played very well at all.
right.
And then we have new demon people, demon clan, I guess. I don't know. It's not explained. These just people have taken over Mount Pow's, and Randy, I'm sorry. I know we're skipping all over this thing, but
It's fine. Whatever, man.
yeah, right.
I mean, the only thing that I wanted to bring up from before was, now it might just be because of how technology has worked in our world, where we didn't always have access to cameras all of the time, throughout the generations. I don't know. I don't think I've ever been in my grandma's house and seen a photo of her as a 12-year-old like on the wall. So I was like, that's weird to have a photo of yourself from back then.
It's all the same. It's all her at this particular age with these particular clothes. I'm like, could you not
Never
any other? There's two pictures next to each other. One of her at the same exact.
I thought that too, yeah. And it's
She
like,
has a poster of it, like that she hangs up later. But like, it's weird. She comes up with a poster, like, oh, it's for my fans. I'm gonna autograph this later.
so I would draw a line between that version of Pawn and then the Pawn that's in this special, and like clearly she's had an adventurous life or done a lot because she's now like a wise old master, right? Obachan, yeah. But so where in that line did she do other stuff? Why is there not any kind of like photos of her adult adventures along the way? And it's everything's just.
I like to think that there were no more adventures. That was it for her, and just that was so impactful for her. Just that before that kind of made her a wise old woman, like, or yeah, whatever. I don't know.
Just trained for the rest of her life.
Not even trained. Just like took inspiration from what she had before, and just lived her life with the morals that she learned throughout the trip.
Since GT is kind of always a Toei creation, they didn't really have any like manga to draw from or like worry about stepping on their toes. So I think it would have been nice if we could have seen just like some photos of them all, like, okay, something happened later on. Like, here's what she looks like when she's like 16 or 20 on some adventure. Like, that would have been cool because like they're tied back by nobody. Just their own imagination.
You're not going to accidentally step on Toriyama's toes here. You can literally do whatever you want.
Yeah. So it would have been nice to see something, or even like, I don't know, what her husband looked like or what her kids looked like. I mean, because
Oob. He's right there.
I suppose. But
yeah, what
does that mean? Does that mean little Goku is now part magic? Like,
oh, he's a pink Kirby type thing. But yeah, there's no Giro either. You think he would survive throughout the years with her?
That would have been kind of fun if he was still around and he like went off with Goku to like on his adventure. I don't know, just a
little Giro with a cane. Can you imagine next walking?
Why would the robot get old, Doug?
That'd be hilarious to me. It'd be so Dragon Ball humor.
Where is Giru?
Yeah, what's going on with him?
I'm sure something happened down the line and he broke down.
Now, do you think that Pan doesn't remember that you need 7 Dragon Balls, or do you think little Goku here didn't pay attention?
He didn't pay attention.
The story.
They did a good job of showing that he wasn't paying attention that well. So
either that, or I could see Pan just like not telling him to keep him from going out and like accidentally setting off a series of 30 years of events where now more aliens start showing up on Earth because he did this one initial search for the Dragon Balls.
I get that, but I think it's just more, it's so separated from what the world is now that no one cares to listen to it. And she might have not told him at all, like just the Dragon Ball itself. Like there's this one special ball that belonged to my grandfather, and that's it.
Yeah. And if you get all 7, you get a wish granted. All right, Grandma, let's go to bed.
Yeah. I think it is, that idea is sweet though, that Goku only thinks that one ball is necessary. Like only thinks that one ball exists. Like I think that's nice.
The gi that he's wearing, do you think that's what she puts him in to train him, or like did he just find stuff to put on?
It's probably like sign up for some karate classes, and that's what they gave out.
Yeah.
God, you know how cool it would have been if it was GT Goku's gi, because like episode 64, Vegeta tells her to hold on to that.
Yeah, he does wear it. That's too much hindsight. That's
foresight for the writers. I don't know. Would have been so cool to be like, why is he wearing that? And why is it all kind of tattered?
Why would he go on an adventure like that? I don't think he probably does have it. He just wouldn't wear that to like.
Yeah, I don't know. It could have been like, it'll give me strength, just like my grandpa Goku. Like, I don't know.
He doesn't have any reverence for that. He's probably spent his whole life being told he's not enough like that guy. And I do think the moment when Goku, the real Goku, finally shows up, I do think that moment hits appropriately.
Yeah,
I think so.
I would agree.
Especially to hear Nozawa in that tone again.
Yeah,
probably because we had GT and we barely get the adult Goku voice and imagery. It's nice to see him again in this art style.
Yeah, that's good, but the rest of it is just like,
so why does Puck go along with the adventure?
Yeah, that's so strange. Like, I needed more of that, of like explaining like why he's suddenly like, you know what, maybe you're not so bad, or like, you know, I know that I bully you and beat up on you all the time, but like, why would you go off on this adventure? Really?
He was later like, you, Grandma Pan is in danger, yeah, I'll continue with you. I needed that to be earlier for his motive to go in the first place, because he goes just to be like, I wanna, it'd be fun to go with you. To then finding out that Pan is dying, and then it's like, oh no, but no, that I needed that first.
Yeah.
And what is going on with the villains in this? Okay, where do they come from? Only 2 of them have names. The chicken guy doesn't even do anything.
Chicken guy shows
He
up
flies
after
at Goku for a bit.
I said this about the Sugoroku space stuff, but I think these guys are just leftover designs for space adventures they never got to, and are like, let's just throw it into this thing, let's just reuse it, because
they're not horrible designs.
Yomao, the pig guy, just like he can shapeshift.
Yeah,
partially.
At first, I thought he was like Barrett with the handgun, but then he just transforms back into his arm.
Yeah,
he can just.
It's nothing. It's not. Yeah. None of it's important. He could have just still held the bear with his giant pig man hand, and he didn't use a sword. I don't think. So why did he need that? And
yeah, I was hoping he was like he's a descendant of Bear with Sword from episode 1 of Dragon Ball.
And Goku's transformation in this has got to be the worst Super Saiyan transformation we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
where he yells and he's like ah, and then it cuts to someone else, and then it cuts back to him, and he's already Super Saiyan, and like okay,
that's it.
Okay,
like the reasoning for transforming is not like fleshed out as much. It's just like it's not even like you don't even like get a shot of the bear about to die. It's just kind of like and then he gets stoic. As in Super Saiyan does that to you, it just makes you, well, maybe Goku did when he first transformed, right?
But he doesn't even remember it happening.
Yeah,
he thinks the bear beat him, and I'm like, this is not precedent. There's no precedent for this.
Some classic Gohan moments there, though, the forgetting, and then the being so scared he teleports up to the top of the tree. Like, that's a Gohan moment, but yeah. Again, just feels like a checklist, like, oh, let's give him these moments that our previous characters that people love had. That's it. It did look cool, him looking like Bardock for a second before he takes it off. I'm like, why'd you take the bandana off? Leave it on.
Put it on.
He did nail every like Goku character, Goku, Gohan, Goten, and Bardock. It's funny.
I don't know, man.
Not watching it again. I think this is a real low point in GT.
Yeah. The truck driver,
oh God! What
I remember that
asshole!
Yeah, that is literally what I wrote down.
He just takes Goku's bag. He's like, "Hey, you should go to the bathroom real quick." Dumps out his stuff and then throws his bag at him. See ya, kid.
Like he's the villain of this series because none of this would have happened if he would have been nice.
Yeah, right. I was like, "Oh, Goku! How lucky Goku has this good Samaritan to drive him all the way to Mount Pao. He's all set." But no, he's like a very, like, I didn't even know it was a stereotype of truck drivers, but his whole truck is disgusting with emptied bottles and cans. And I know life on the road is rough like that, but not like that.
No. Also, like,
bad name of truck drivers.
I felt horrified, like when Puck fell to, like, I'm like, oh God, is this kid dead now?
It's like real death. That guy is dead. They don't explain how he survived that either. Maybe the Kintoon came and like whisked him away.
I didn't really feel anything because I didn't find him compelling at all. He was a bully who just suddenly decides that he wants to go. It did kind of seem like all the kids know Pawn pretty well and have some kind of respect for her.
Yeah.
But him, like, I don't know. I was just like, I don't care about him. He's obviously meant to be like the Kuririn stand-in here, but I just like, I don't care. He gave it the pen back. Good for him.
Wow, what a roundabout story of a character development. No, it's nothing there.
We'll never get this kind of information for sure, but I really would love to know the discussions that were being had that led to this TV special.
Who pitched this and was like, I got a great idea, and we're going to screw it up every step of the way.
Yeah, and why do it here?
Yeah.
And when does that come into play with when it was decided that GT was going to be ending? The next arc that we're going to do is only 6 episodes. So what was going on this, like, so we went from a 40 episode arc essentially to an interstitial, a TV special.
So, you know, Ken's frustrated. His glasses are going up.
Well, no, I had an eyelash that betrayed me. A 6 episode arc, and then we go into the final one, which is, I don't know, like 20 something. So
yeah,
yeah, it's So such a weird. This must have been in the works for a little bit, right? So maybe they were thinking like this might be it. After this arc is over, it might be over. Let's work on something just in case to wrap things up nicely in a little bow.
And then what is going on with Toei that we watch this and it's like the worst looking thing out of Dragon Ball that I have ever seen. It's definitely not a film transfer. This is like a tape transfer.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The animation and art itself is good, but yes, like clearly I don't know what they did with original materials because it's ghosting everywhere.
Frame
We've got,
blending,
frame.
I think even
frame
like
blending.
in the beginning, the flashback they show of Goku defeating Baby like looked worse.
Yeah.
Too. Like,
the
color and everything. Like,
every part of it
have
looks
those?
bad.
Yeah.
It's so strange.
Just disrespectful to the series in general.
Well, Toei does that a lot.
Yeah.
I know that we talked about the whole Goku part, the Goku we know and love part hitting. I don't know, man. Do your best, Son Goku. Just like older version to like the younger. I'm like, man, okay, that kind of makes this whole thing kind of worth it.
Yeah,
just the feelings I got from that.
The actual Goku stuff was great.
Except for the steel drums portion of Don Don that's playing when he's
riding the bear.
What?
Yeah. When he's riding the bear?
Well, no, it's just like with him and older Goku talking to each other. Like Don Don starts playing, and it's this different instrumental version, and there's one section of it that's just steel drums. I'm like, this feels so weird. Yeah.
I'm still waiting for them to do an instrumentalized version of one of the other endings. That's not Tori Janai. It's been about 10 episodes since we've had that in the show. So let's get some Don't You See, but I think Don't You See is on its way out here soon. Yep. So
Don't You See? How is Goku dead before Pan?
Well, we'll see in episode 64.
Well, with this mentality of what they have right now.
Probably a ceremonial just gravestone.
Right.
Just that he never came back. I mean, he comes back in AF. We know that as a fact.
We know that.
But I'm saying with Toei, what they have now, assuming they don't have much planned out for the future that we know and
that's assuming
about it. Why is Goku dead before Pan? Like it's like what is their reasoning behind that?
Well, what I'm saying is that no, he's not actually dead. They're just treating him as if he were dead.
But why he hasn't
been around?
We don't know because it's episode 64, Doug.
That's what I'm saying. The 64 doesn't exist at this time that they.
At this point, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Well, Goku is older than Pan.
Right. Well, he's
even in a young body.
Younger, about the same age, so physically.
True.
He turned Super Saiyan 4 too many times and just stuck there.
Yeah.
I think they must have known where they were taking his ending, and maybe they didn't know if they were going to go past that. And they're like, well, okay, we've got this set up, so then Goku is going to die this way, and then maybe if we get another, year renewal, then we'll follow this Goku after this TV special, Or maybe they knew that that's where it was going to be. Like, so we got 64 episodes, we've got this planned out.
I don't know. A lot of this feels like, especially just GT in general, just feels like no thought goes into anything. It's just like, let's just do this because I want to. And damn ramifications or consistency.
I mean, there were teams talking about stuff and planning. You don't just put stuff out like this without having multiple people have input and ideas of where they're going with it. It's just that we'll never know that kind of stuff, I think. We do know some stuff. Like, I'm surprised at all that we know the series was originally supposed to be something different than what we ended up getting. Mm-hmm. I think that we know that at all is miraculous. I don't think we're going to know a lot of the other interesting stuff that would love to know about, especially when things apparently go so wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I know the impressions of what the Super 17 arc is, and I know from personal experience, I've seen some of the Evil Dragon episodes, and they're okay.
Yep.
So I don't know where it went
wish,
so wrong. We'll never know.
I suppose I'm saying this because of where we're at right now, and this is what we're talking about. I would like it if Daima happens, and then they just no more movies, no TV shows, so then Dragon Ball can slumber. So then we can send somebody over to Japan to be like, all right, here's the question you got to ask, because they're not talking about new shows. Ask them, okay, what was going on in 1997? Can you please just tell me so we can document all this stuff while you're still alive? Just because I'm so curious.
They would know.
Yeah. They might. I don't know. They might be like, oh yeah, it was real stupid back then. Like the things that we were doing, and like, You
My
know,
NDA is
Jeff's
over.
son over
I can
here
spill
came
the
up with
beans
this.
now. Jeff's son.
And Steve sent by.
It's the kind of thing where Mike's going to have to send Julian in.
That's
Yeah.
why, you know, send him in. Julian can do it. Overall, I thought it was all right. I appreciate them trying something new, even if that's the thing with GT. They're going to try something new, and it might not always land. And I think this is another one of those of like, it didn't. I didn't find the new Goku all that compelling. Could have had more dimension with him or Puck. Monsters not super well utilized, maybe needed fewer of them. But like you said, like they just have extra designs, might as well use them. More hold on to them, you know, for more stuff coming down.
Purple pig design I think it was awesome. Like he looked cool.
I thought that lady looked cool. Mamba, I thought she looked cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was another cute moment too when like her hair was cut by Puck or Goku, and then she's like, I had to cut my hair," and the one of them's like, "You still look cute with that." Oh, thank you. Like that was a nice moment.
Yeah. And yeah, the original Son Goku is the real meat of the special that gives any serious emotion, which would only be more potent if this was after GT. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, aired afterwards, but oh well.
It was interesting how it's not Toshio. Who voices Yamcha? It's who voices Puck. What's his name?
Furuya.
Yeah.
Todo Furia.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, because I remember him saying like in interviews that he only voices what he thinks are cool guys. So it's funny that he voices Puck, which is, I don't know, maybe a cool guy, but I don't think stereotypical cool guy as he puts it.
Well, I don't think Amuro is a stereotypical cool guy either.
Who's that?
From
The main
Gundam?
Oh, okay.
main character from original Gundam was also Toru Furia.
Main protagonist. I think some people might say Char is the main character.
That's true. Yeah. That's fair. It's not called Amuro's counterattack.
Yeah.
You guys have any other last things you want to say about this TV special before? I assume, Ken, we have a Meanwhile in the World of Anime.
We do. I like that this GT special brought us all together. I think we all feel the same way about it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, finally we can all.
Yeah, we agree. We can give this one the stamp of disapproval. We got a podcast stamp of disapproval.
You did it, Heroes Legacy.
Congratulations.
You did
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
I feel bad for this descendant of Goku having all this responsibility thrust upon him to Pan, and then to save his grandma Pan, who's just gonna die in another year or anything too. Like, she's old. Like, why are you? Not why are you? I understand why you are, but it just kind of makes it's weird in the story.
The next arc, they're going to go hunt down that Fountain of Youth, so that way she doesn't die.
But she's dying of natural causes, right? And so, like, just trying to prevent that, it's gonna happen again, buddy. Hate to tell you. Where are your
That's
parents?
time.
Are you just on vacation with your grandma? Where are your parents? I don't care if you don't show me who they are. Just tell me that they exist or something.
Yeah. And they even make it a point to clarify or like specify they don't know how many generations it's been.
Great. Yeah. I love that it's our Goku that does that.
Yeah. And even then I was thinking, okay, Pon's got at least 110 here. So we're talking great or great. So that means we've had several generations in between these two characters and none of them are here.
None.
Yeah.
There was some plague that happened that they skipped
A lot of darkness in Dragon World.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. After Goku dies, it all goes to shit.
Choji Yanami went crazy.
Oh, that's good. Ken, what else was going on?
Right. So this special that we just watched came out on March 26, 1997, like we said. And last time we talked about a certain manga called Pokemon Adventures, which has just started.
Yeah.
April 1st, 1997, Pocket Monsters, the show with Satoshi, a.k.a. Ash Ketchum, began.
Just like a week later.
Whoa.
So people were so soured on this GT special, and then they turned around and watched the first episode of Pokemon, and you get to see Ho-Oh flying across the sky, not knowing what... You won't see that creature for another 3 years in the Pokédex, but get ready.
What a
You just
magical
witnessed
moment.
it.
Dang, there's no more whimsy like that in the world anymore, is there?
Yeah.
There is if you're a child. So,
No,
And
'cause then
Pocket
you just
Monsters-
go online and see that, oh, this is going to be this referencing this. No, this is like true, like, no one knows what this is.
YouTubers are ruining everything. I agree,
Yeah.
Doug. Pocket Monsters ended.
Like, subscribe, and comment.
Pocket Monsters ended on March 24th, 2023. And now there's some new series, but Ash's Journey ended then. So
They did execute him live on TV.
the day after Pikachu first shocks Ash, a little anime you guys might have heard about this called Revolutionary Girl Utena started.
Oh, Randy, have you heard of
Oh
that?
boy, I have actually. I might have even done a podcast about it.
April 2nd, 1997, and not to be forgotten about, April 4th, 1997, the third TV anime in the Slayers franchise, Slayers
that was good
Try,
too.
began.
Yeah.
Slayer's rules.
So, a really just barrage of iconic 90s anime series
Yeah, wow.
started right after this god mid
The world will never be the same again.
GT
Yeah.
special.
There needed to be balance in the world again, so.
Yeah. And again, a lot of stuff has been coming out in here. I just kind of picked and choose stuff I recognize or stuff that I
Pokemon's big.
find meaningful. But yeah.
Pokemon is the biggest, I would say.
So we're really into the point here where Dragon Ball's bleeding into a lot of very modern stuff. For a series that began in 1984 is
Finally getting some
passing the
recognition.
torch. And we'll get into more of that torch passing later down
Naruto?
the line, where it's going to, Naruto starts in 99, but another, and don't say what you think it is, but another popular series began in 1997.
That's so
And
Raven.
we'll see that. That was definitely the 2000s, Doug. She was on the Cosby Show, and we're not going to talk about that. Okay. We'll get to that point later down the line. That's it for the world of anime.
That's it. But this isn't the end of GT. We've got more to do. Our next episode, where we're covering GT, we'll be doing episodes 42 to 44, which is half of the new arc, Super 17. It's gonna be exciting. I like 17. It's gonna be super. 17 and I go back real far. I don't know what I'm saying. That's gonna
17
be.
years.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back for some skeets and tweets, as it says here.
What?
The outline.
Can I come back for just one of those things?
Yeah, man, I know you love the skeets, and we'll see you then. Hey there, we're back to more stuff about Dragon Ball GT. We are going to go over things that you guys had sent in regards to this little set of episodes. Ken, who runs our Twitter X, as some people call it, says,
Only you.
"Shut up. There are dozens of us. We're recording tonight to cover episode 41 and Dragon Ball of GT and the TV special. What are your thoughts on this brief intermission between Baby and Super 17? And so Cage, first up, says, I've been so curious to hear your thoughts on the TV special because I want to know if I'm crazy or not. I think it's the worst piece of Dragon Ball media ever made. It's hard to find any noteworthy discussion on this thing online, so I don't know if this is a hot take or not. I could never possibly explain myself in the length of a tweet, but just know that I once wrote 20 pages of a script for a video essay about it, and I don't even make YouTube videos.
Whoa.
The thing is complete garbage from front to back. Sorry for the length. Again, Cage, it's okay. I'm okay with the length. You're interacting, and you know what? It's not Omega Rockman levels, which I do love, and I have not heard from Omega Rockman in a hot minute. So Omega, you're on blast. Tweet in.
I want to read this like 26-page thing that he made.
Ken loves to voice act. Maybe he'll read it and record it.
I do.
He's getting his voice ready.
I don't know. I don't know if this is the. No, I don't know if this is the worst piece of Dragon Ball media ever made, because that one filler episode of Z where Bulma has to go underwater to find the Dragon Balls on Namek exists, and I think that's the worst.
Even that has its endearing qualities of a giant crab, dude.
I think top down, that's the worst
to
episode of anything.
Damn.
We're gonna watch it for the podcast one of these days.
This is definitely the worst looking one.
This has the audacity to call itself a special, though, so maybe that also makes it a little worse, you know?
Yeah.
Really ups your expectations, and then
Especially given the last two specials, yeah.
It's so cool to see a young Super Saiyan Goku. Oh, wait, never mind.
We've done that. Yeah.
yep, been there, seen that multiple times.
Sad day.
Yeah.
It is.
But yeah, I am interested to see what you wrote. You should
Yeah,
post it on like
totally.
Medium or whatever, one of those paste bin or something
Or
like that.
submit an audio. That's a 26 page. I don't know. That'll be a whole podcast episode.
And now a voicemail from Cage, and it's the next 20 minutes. Ken, do you want to take this one from Jacob?
I would love to take this. So Jacob says, the Tenkaichi Budokai is always fun. For the special, I thought it was a bit Dragon Quest-like. I like seeing some of what it's like for other people in the Dragon world. Grandma Pan is great. I think the special works well after the end of the show. Feels weird here.
That's what I was gonna say about this. Is that feels very with the new like gang of evildoers or whatever. They feel very Dragon Questy. Just how the GT in general has been feeling since the beginning. They finally like just said, okay, fuck it, we have this new thing. Let's just make it all Dragon Quest, and that's what it felt like to me.
It would have been, I don't know. Would it have been better if this was longer and they could have done stuff? Or, yeah.
The fact that there was a truck driver scene, just like they were looking for stuff to pad out this time.
Well, we've had truck drivers in Dragon Ball before, famously.
Right.
The one against 18 and Vegeta.
Yeah.
We had 2 whole scenes dedicated to Goku peeing. So just want to,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
Oh, and he got like pee on his hand and then like started chasing him down. How endearing.
He
Kids
does
will be
pee.
kids.
He pees 3 times in the special.
3?
Does he?
Yeah, he pees with the trucker, then he and Puck pee together, and then he pees his pants.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Sorry, Senpai.
Yeah, that's going to be in the trivia. Doug, do you want to take this one from Parker?
Sure. Parker Rico says, I thought episode 41 was a fun diversion from the main story. It was great to see the Tenkaichi Budokai again after who knows how long, and I love the bit with Boo and Oob. As for the TV special, it was fine. Not as good as the 2 before it, but I still think it's worth a watch.
Definitely, and should not be mentioned in the same breath as the previous 2. Yeah, I liked... Yeah.
It's worth the one singular watch
Yeah,
in your
I agree.
entire 80-year-old existence, or they say our lifespans are going down. So, but
Please.
don't watch it again. Just watch it the one time. Leave it at that.
And this one from Saban says, there is not enough Goku Jr. love. Maybe there's a reason for this. Sorry, Saban, if you're a big, young...
Well, they didn't do a good job of like kind of endearing him to us. It was like a very shallow attempt. Like, no, he's got Super Saiyan now, so he's cool. He's strong now. It's like, we didn't get that arc. He's been a baby this entire time.
Yeah, and he doesn't even remember it. So
Yeah.
there's no character development there.
That's just straight up what Gohan was at the beginning of the Saiyan arc. I'm just like, what happened?
It was hard not referring him to Goku Jr. this entire podcast episode, though, after you guys made it a point that it's not really Goku Jr.
Look, it is what it is. We're just trying to...
It's a good
Be
shorthand. It's a good
Yeah,
shorthand.
it is.
But
It's good shorthand.
his name is actually just Son Goku, and then in parentheses, descendant. If you're if you want to get to the guidebook definition of his name, it's the dictionary terms. Yeah.
So next we got Doug's favorite part, which is, of course, GT trivia time.
Yeah.
Oh, he's actually excited.
I'm interested to see what Zenpai cobbled together from this TV special in terms of
Poor
trivia.
Senpai.
Now, be careful what you say, because last time he did take a question from Tyson, who disregarded the entire point of trivia, which is to be on the things we just watched. So maybe he reached out to Tyson for some BS trivia again. So careful what you're asking for.
Watch out, Tyson.
Watch out, Tyson. We're coming for you. Okay, question 1. In episode 4... Okay, if this is your first episode, before we jump in, they're going to try to answer the question. If it's something we covered...
That's what trivia is?
If this is something we covered, though, Zenpai, who writes all of our trivia, loses a point. So that's how this goes. The boys can get points. Zenpai can lose points.
Ken, to buzz in, we would be holding our Android 19 boxes.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. Great audio. Just to have heads rolling around.
Yeah. That's visible waveform, baby.
All right. Get those 19s ready, because here we go. Question 1. In episode 41, how many face buttons does the portable console one of the contestants was playing have?
What?
Someone was playing a portable console.
Yeah, what is that? I need to go back and... What did it say? Repeat that question again?
Check the tapes. In episode 41, how many face buttons did the portable console one of the contestants was playing have?
One of the contestants.
The reason this
had-
question exists at all is because I have gotten so like deep into writing down every single thing that's on the screen. So I know Zenpai's mindset in writing this question. I get it. I understand it. No way was I paying attention to this. So I can't even begin to.
You can't even just guess. I mean, for how many that consoles generally have?
7.
7 face buttons.
Seven's a number, man.
I'm gonna say 3.
Doug gets the point. It is 3.
Look,
What contestant?
here's the thing. Did one of us get the point? And was that person not Zenpai?
Yes.
That's
That's
a
what
win,
matters.
baby.
That's what matters. Yeah.
Question 2.
No, explain what contestant was holding a Walkman.
I don't know, man. I didn't
That's
write
what Zenpai is
these.
saying. God dang.
Let me call Zenpai up. Boop, boop, boop. Hey, I know that you're asleep because you're half the world away, but Doug needs you to explain this question to him.
He needs to put these in there then if he's gonna. I need sources.
Screen caps.
A fifth of the world away at most.
Okay.
We're moving on. Question 2. Besides Goku, how many other contestants were in the waiting room with him after his first match?
Oh.
These are getting very specific because he is trying to screw you too.
Yeah.
And I
Doug
love
and
it.
I are
I'm
just
here
going
for
to
it.
just say numbers.
Yeah, at this
Sure.
point.
So these are other than Goku?
Other than Goku.
I'm gonna say I saw 4. There were 2 playing Game Boy, and then 2 in the forefront.
So just to cover our bases here, I'm going to say 5. Because this is Doug and I working together.
Price is right.
Right. Yeah, you're trying to figure this out together. Unfortunately, you should have started one higher because it was 6.
Ooh.
6 other contestants.
I remember the 2 guys playing Game Boy because I'm like, are they gonna make a thing of like, oh, these kids nowadays are just on their games?
Okay, you just said that you didn't remember anybody using video games, and then you're like, well, there was 2 kids playing Game Boys. Like, yeah, that was what the question was about, Doug. What one of those kids? What?
Oh,
That first question. And you're like, tell Zenpai, I need to see what's going on. And then 5 seconds later, you're like, so I remember the
I'm
2 kids
thinking
playing Game Boy.
like a CD player. Like I'm thinking like a play
A portable
line.
console
A portable
is a CD player?
I don't know, man. I don't know what I was thinking.
Doug's just waking up. All right.
That's
Yeah,
true.
Yeah.
Anyway, next question. How many of those contestants were actually working out?
3.
2. Oh.
4. One was playing the portable console mentioned in question 1, and another one was watching him play. So 4 of them were working out.
Oh.
Sure.
Here we go. He's not losing any points yet, so
See, when we're more enthusiastic about these episodes is when we perform better in trivia.
Right.
You're getting us on the BS episodes.
How many ladybugs were on the screen at second 5? Thanks, Empire. Actually, really thank you for your time. I know
Yes.
you don't have to, so appreciate
how
it.
many game shows are there where the contestants get an answer wrong and then shit talk the person who wrote the questions? Doesn't happen very often. Next question. As of episode 41, how many actors have voiced the tournament announcer?
Oh, that's interesting.
3.
1.
Ken gets it 3. Kenji Utsumi in Dragon Ball, Hirotaka Suzuoki in Dragon Ball Z, and now Yukimasa Kishino in Dragon Ball GT.
Dang.
Two more would end up also portraying him. Ryuzaburo Otomo in Budokai Tenkaichi 3, and Tamotsu Nishiwaki in Dragon Ball Kai.
See, this is where the dub gets a W because
Yeah.
the dub gets a
Eric
dub.
Vale.
It's just Eric Vale. Randy, you have a button for this.
I'm coming. There we go.
Yes.
Thank you.
trying to avoid using it. I'm sorry. All right, next question. What is the name pun of Magure, Goku's opponent in the Junior Division finals
Thought
and the
about
eventual
this.
winner?
He's the nerdy kid with the red overall spandex and the glasses. Mogure was his name.
Yeah, what does that mean in Japanese? What's the name pun?
You switch out the letters, so it's Erumag, and then translate that to French. And
You're on the right path, but the answer, I don't know.
Okay. Clearly you guys don't know. It is pure luck. That's what his name means.
very accurate. Okay. I don't know. I feel like there was a lot of skill there. He tickled Goku to submission.
It's true. All right, and this next one has a parentheses before we even get into it.
Oh my god.
I might be setting myself up for a negative point here, but screw it. What is the reason Papaya Man should have been disqualified or even prevented from participating in the first place?
Damn.
Oh, Doug.
He's wearing a gosh dang helmet.
Boom! You got it. You didn't lose a point. We didn't talk about it.
I was going to, but I forgot about it. So Zenpai, you lucked out. Your name should be Murugame.
Murugame.
What was the name?
Magure.
Magure.
Murugame. Zenpai, you have to change your identity.
Oh, this next one, I actually took a note, but then it's from the TV special, so I shared like 4% of my notes. What was the number on the first route Goku passes on his way to Mount Paozu?
59.
Doug? I mean,
Dude.
Ken. 59. Yeah.
Ken's on it.
I wrote that down.
Yeah.
He knew.
Why is it 59,
You see
Ken?
notable numbers, and you're like, got it.
Why is it 59?
Because that's
you
what
don't know?
volume of the manga would be if this was the manga.
Route 69?
No. Go-Ku. Go 5, Ku 9. May 9th is Goku Day.
Dude, how could we be so stupid?
You know, if you had asked, if the episode was better, I'd be more engaged in answering the question correctly. The neurons in my brain are not firing right now because they're
If it was 5'9" Junior, then I would have picked up on
of course. 5'9" parentheses descendant.
it. Right.
All right, we got one final question here, you guys. What was written on the front of the truck that gave Goku a ride in the TV special? All right, Ken. Harapeko is correct. Harapeko with a K, as you know, one would write it, would romanize the word, means hungry or starving in Japanese.
Oh.
Should have known.
Was hungry and starving and always looking for food.
Yeah.
These writers are so clever.
Dude, so
guys.
funny, man. They're so freaking clever. How did they come up with it?
Remember Toriyama named a character after underwear? So clever.
And she just wore underwear the entire time.
The guy's name is literally Vegetable.
All right, that's going to close us out. Thanks for listening. We love interacting with you and keeping you.
Yeah. I'm glad to be done with these 2 episodes.
We love interacting with you, keeping you in the conversation, talking about our favorite Dragon Ball franchise, our favorite franchise in the world, which is a lie, as if you listen to our other
It's mine.
bonus
You don't have to
episode.
listen to those jokers, but it's mine. Ignore the giant Snorlax. You'll see the other Dragon Ball stuff behind
No,
it.
That's true.
Full Sail is favorite franchise,
Okay.
not favorite anime.
Right.
Fair. Post at us on our socials. Email us at wegottapod@gmail.com, and you can find us on socials at wegottapod.
Thank you to Rifti Beach for letting us use this track, Kakarot theme hip hop track remix. You can find that track and other great music by Rifti on his SoundCloud. Ken, where can the decent people find you?
Well, the decent people can find me at Detective X, and the indecent people can find me over at Blue Sky at detectivex.bluesky.social or whatever that failed. It's whatever it is.
Whatever that is, yeah. Randy?
You can find me at Saber_Breaker most places, and I'm posting a lot on Threads. Join me on Threads. That's where the cool people are. Doug, where
We're the
about
only
you?
ones. I'm Jabaz Doug. Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Well, everywhere.
Except for Blue Sky, because I haven't redeemed that invitation code or whatever you guys sent me 10 years ago.
Everywhere you can like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Fill out polls that Randy's doing on Spotify. Answer questions. He's asking questions with these episodes. Spotify, we were too good on Spotify and they demonetized us. So if you really want to help the show, you listen on Spotify. YouTube, we're on our way. We're getting there eventually. But at the end of the day, Spotify is where we had monetization at some point and they ripped it out of our hands. So tell your friends. You know, someone commented on a previous video saying you guys deserve more views, and you can help us with that by telling your friends to listen to We Got a Podcast. So on that note, tell your friends, and we'll catch you matinator.
Bye.
Bye.
That's how you end a podcast.
That's how you do it, baby.
You don't go on rants about moms or...
I almost brought it up. I'm like, let's keep it
Unprofessional bullshit.